This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
You know, I know you're doing your thing and you're looking great, by the way. I mean, you can definitely see, you know, and you look like you feel good and all that. And so that's fucking awesome that you're doing that. But yeah, we got invited for beers yesterday and I couldn't go, but I'm glad you couldn't go too, because I would have been jealous if y'all went without me.
Yeah, I still need to respond to that invite. It just, like I said, at that point, I did not have the bandwidth to even say, man, sounds fun, can't go.
Right. No, I understand that. I get it. Now, I think I've already talked on the show about painting and like us painting the inside of our house and how I've told everybody that I've talked to, like, if I ever suggest that I'm going to paint the inside of my house again, ever, remind me that I should just move.
Okay.
Because it's the same thing, only you just move your shit, you know, back around into your fucking same house again. But man, it's been crazy. But my question for you to start today's show is, have you fallen lately? Like, and I mean like a fall. Like, I mean like a dramatic like situation where you start in one spot and when you end up in another spot that it could be, let's say, at least 6 feet away on the ground. Has that happened to you lately?
You know, I have not fallen in quite some time, but there is a weird thing, and I don't know when this happened. I don't know at what age this happens, but there's at some point in life where when you see someone else fall, whether it be in person or online on videos, when you see someone else fall, you feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like when you're a kid, you see someone fall, you just laugh. You're like, ha, that's hilarious. Even if they just bust their skull open, you're like, that's great. Ha, hilarious. But like something at some point, I don't know when it is. I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 36 to 40, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. When someone falls, like you have a physical reaction to it.
You're so right, because I wouldn't say grew up. I mean, you did probably, but I mean, y'all's generation, like those who are, you know, like mid 40s and below, you know, skate videos were such a big thing. And so you just watch people eat shit and break bones and stuff all the time. It's just part of the whole thing. Right. But you do get to an age where it's kind of not as entertaining anymore. Like you're so right. Like it's weird. Like I don't really like to watch that kind of shit anymore. Like, I don't mind watching somebody like land a trick or eat shit, but I don't really need to see broken wrists and stuff anymore, where I used to look for it, you know?
Yeah. Even if it's like, you know, if it's not that dramatic, you know, like watching a sport event or like seeing someone on a video fall on a track, you know, like they're doing a hurdle. There's at some point in life where whenever that fall happens, you actually like feel pain, like you feel that, oh, you have a wince, and like you have not an adrenaline rush, but I mean, there's some kind of physical reaction that I didn't have whenever I was younger, and I have it now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry. That's a long answer. I haven't fallen for a while.
Well, so I fell, the last time I fell was vacation. Remember, like right when we were leaving. So that was January. And it was that thing where I stumbled on a suitcase and I sort of like tried to catch my balance and I ended up grabbing like the handrail or whatever. But I did end up eating shit. And, you know, it was embarrassing because everybody was around and watching, and, you know, the people rush up to see if you're okay. And, you know, obviously that's what they're supposed to do, because I'm sure Hilton frowns upon falling in their lobby, you know. But that was the first time in like a long time. And so, you know, that was just a few months ago, January. But today I full on fucking ate shit. I was just on a roll. I was getting so much done. We're to the point in our house that we're getting to put our house back together now. So like, it's not only just putting things back in place, but we're rehanging things on the walls. But also there's a different kind of clutter around right now, because shit we're always one of the ideas is to have a less cluttery home, and that's our goal. I've realized that I've reached a point in my life where stuff is sort of making me anxious, and it's weird because I'm a pack rat. So I'm from a long line of pack rats, and I keep everything, and I'm really, really doing well in getting around that stuff. But my wife is also one that just brings shit home and just sticks it somewhere. And my son is, he wants the Minecraft Happy Meal toys. He's 12. He wants the Minecraft Happy Meal toys, but they're either going to just sit in the car or they sit up on the bar.
That's such a weird one, because whenever they get to the age where they don't really care about those toys, they don't play with those toys as toys, but they still want them. It's like, you just want it to want it, but you're not gonna. You're going to open it and go, neat, and that's it.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And it's brilliant marketing. It is fucking brilliant. It's just so goddamn good. And because again, we went through, I don't really take them to McDonald's a lot. We don't go to McDonald's a lot, but he saw this thing. I mean, hardly ever, actually. Not that we don't eat fast food, by the way. I'm not uppity. That's just not one that we choose very much unless it's breakfast and we're traveling or something. But he wanted these things or whatever. And so they had gone specifically to go get this Happy Meal when it first came out. And then we had late baseball games last week. And on one of the days we still couldn't get to our kitchen. So it was like, I've got to get him something. It's already 9:00. Bedtime's at 9:00. He still doesn't take a shower. Fuck it. We're driving through McDonald's. And so, the thing is that he's 12 and he's as tall as Casey and he's a big dude. So, he's basically almost a full grown man, and a Happy Meal isn't enough food. So normally what he gets is, like a cheeseburger and a French fry. And then he gets like a side nugget, or something like that, like a quarter pounder. But anyway, so he's like, just get me 2 Happy Meals. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to have to call your mother. Because I'm like, am I doing this? Am I getting them? Yeah. Don't just get it. Because it's just the baby cheeseburger. And then it's got the 6 nuggets. And they're 2 little bitty fries. So he can just combine. And then he's got some apple slices, right?
Yeah.
And I'm okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But had I not asked and gotten him 2 Happy Meals, I feel like I wouldn't have been, I would have gotten a stern talking to, at some point.
There's so many situations being a married husband where it's like, man, I feel like this and I think that, but it's like, I also feel like if I did it the other way, no matter what, I'm wrong, right?
100%. You know what's great about my wife is she understands that to that point. She will go, well, I understand why you called. Because there's no way that you would have been right either way had we, you know what I mean? Like it's just good that you consulted the boss, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
So we're driving through and he's like, hey, will you ask them if I can get 2 different Minecraft toys? And I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. You know me, I'll ask anybody anything.
Yeah. What are they going to say? No?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I won't return anything because I hate talking to people on that thing, but asking for people, oh, fuck it. I'll ask for some shit.
Dude,
right?
Not returning shit. I've taken it to a new level. Like, someone at Christmas gave me like a lotto ticket and it's like, I won $2. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not taking that back.
No, exactly. Yeah, we have a fucking stack of those, by the way. Like, it's just, what I tell Casey all the time, I'm just like, it's such a weird world we live in now where like there's like a $5 bill that just sits on the bar forever. Like the kids don't even steal it anymore because what the fuck are they gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Like there's been a $5 bill and I finally just got it, but there's been people in and out of my house. There's been children, there's been guests, dog sitters, and all this just $5 bill has just been sitting there and nobody's taken it. And I'm just like, that would not have lasted 30 minutes with me or my brother in that house. That thing would have been fucking gone. And then we would have kept it and waited for somebody to say something. And there's a statute of limitations. And then that shit's getting spent.
Yeah. Whenever we were kids, if that sat on the counter long enough for the room to be empty, it's gone.
It's gone. Right. Yeah. So I go through and I ask the guy, I just go, and the guy I realized that this particular McDonald's closes because we live in Prosper. And so like, there's not a lot of traffic around here. Or maybe they just close everything, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what the circumstances were, but this particular one by Frontier Park, they were definitely wrapping shit up.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, it was 10 o'clock. The game started at 8. It was 10 o'clock at night, right? So anyway, so I asked the guy in the drive-thru, like, hey, and by the way, can I just get 2 different toys? And he goes, okay, do you want toddler or boy or girl? Boy, that's fine, but just these. Anyway, so we go through the thing. And little do I know that, like, that's not a thing. Apparently, like, whatever the toy is for that week, they stick it in there, and that's what you get. So he's essentially going to get the same thing that he's already got. But the really nice boy took it upon himself to go, and he, like, dug in a box and got me another one and brought it out. And I thought that was really, really kind of him to do. How did I get on Happy Meals, by the way?
You started on clutter and how it stresses you out.
Yep, those are still sitting on the bar, by the way.
Okay.
And that's fine. But anyway, so I'm running around getting rid of all that. I'm just trying to get rid of all this shit because our cleaning lady comes, as we've discussed. She's very, very, we love her. She comes once a week and she does the whole house every other week. And then every other week she just does the downstairs. It just gets like a once over, right? And but she hasn't been in 3 weeks because of this work that we're doing around the house. So anyway, Casey and I are both trying to get the house ready, but I had gotten up first and I'm on a roll, man. I am flying through this house doing shit. I'm grabbing stuff and everything right now, everything has a home and I'm so excited. Like I'm opening up drawers and like shit actually fits in the drawer. And I'm like, God damn, this feels good, man. I mean, it is, these small victories. Like I had this shit that was just kind of piling up on the kitchen table. Cause I've, again, really didn't have access to the house. It was stupid shit. It's like this, we got these new little amplifiers Rob and I have, you'll see them, but they're going to go in our little backstage box so that like, if the 3 of us decide, hey, we're going to do such and such song tonight, we don't have to like go and get acoustics. We could literally just go grab our guitars. We plug into these little bitty amps that are about the size of your wallet.
Right.
And they sound fucking great. Right. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to stick that in this drawer right here. And I know exactly where it is for next time I go to space. I can put it in the van. I was so happy. Anyway, we have this baby gate on the stairs that keeps the dogs from going upstairs, but it's, we're getting it. We got a new one today after all this happened, by the way. And so we had a temporary one just kind of leaning up against the thing that we use to keep the dogs out of the cat room, because if the cat litter box doesn't go through its motions, my dogs will dig the shit out of the litter box. Yeah.
Yikes.
I know. Yeah. It fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be honest, they eat it or they just sort of leave it there. And then you got a gravelly fucking cat doo-doo just sitting there in the floor and it's horrible. Right. So I go up to grab it. It's on the 5th step. I grab this thing. In the other hand, I swear to God, I have scissors.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what they say? You're not supposed to fall with scissors.
No. So I fucking come back down those stairs and I just accidentally skip the last step. Like I didn't miss it. I just skipped it and fucking like, in other words, it wasn't like a misfooting. I just didn't know that it was there. And so I felt my legs start to drop. The craziest thing is that these 2 falls have happened in such close proximity that now I'm starting to remember this thing. It is wild how slow it happens in your mind.
Yeah.
Because literally I'm going to go through everything that I thought about on the way down. And all of this is true. I promise. First thing, I start to go through, first thing I think of, shit, I'm going to scratch the wall. We just got it painted. God damn it. Well, we got touch-up paint now. So that's going to be fine. Oh man, I got my footing. I'm okay. I think no, I'm still going down. Oh shit, I have scissors in my hand. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm almost down to the ground and I'm thinking, fuck, I'm going to hit my head. And if I hit my head, this is going to be like way worse. And then I'm thinking, oh no, did my knee just go out? Like, fuck, I think my fucking knee went out. son of a bitch. And now I'm hitting. Then I hit the ground and I'm thinking, oh shit, my fucking shoulder now. Oh god damn it, man. Now I'm gonna have to cancel shows and all this. Wait, who's gonna find me, by the way? Because Casey's in our room and there's no way she hears this. There's 3 fans and an air purifier going in there. She doesn't hear shit, right? So that's not happening. And then I just lay there. And then I'm thinking, man, that took a long time for me to fall down.
It's amazing how your brain can process things so quickly that it seems like it takes a long time, right?
Yeah,
Like that fall, you have all this thought process.
Yeah.
And while you're telling that, it made me think like this past week that we did the Rough Riders thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go throw out the first pitch. And this thing was a weird thing where they take me down to the side of the field and I'm waiting and it's like a hurry up and wait kind of situation. Right.
Yeah.
And everyone after the fact told me that, man, it went so fast. You just walked out there and threw it. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because whenever I was there, I'm sitting on the sideline. They tell me, okay, here's what's going to happen. These other 3 people are going to go out there and they're going to throw the ball. Then we're going to walk to the side. You're going to sit there for a minute. We're going to wait for the team announcements, and then you're going to go out. I go, okay. Mm-hmm. And so the other people go out there, they throw the ball. They go, okay, now you're going to come to the side, and then we're going to sit there while they make these announcements, and then you're going to go. So I'm thinking this is going to take some time, right? I walk to the sideline, and they go, okay, go. And I'm like, wait, I thought that this was okay. So already I'm a little flustered, right?
Yeah.
But I'm walking out there, and I'm walking out, and I hear him say my name, and I make a little wave, hey, great, it's me. And I walk up to the mound, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to look around, and I look over, and oh, the catcher's there. He's already down in position. So I'm like, okay, I'll get ready to throw the ball. And I get set and I throw the ball, and, he catches it, and I walk over, and I have all this thought process of all this things that I did.
For you, it's taking a long time, right?
Yeah. And everyone's telling me it took it's happened so fast. I'm like, what on earth are y'all talking about? And then I watched the video, and it's like, I walked out there, sat there for half a second and threw the ball.
I didn't even get it on video. Because last time it wasn't like that. Like last time you were standing there for a minute, and then they started the announcement, and then you walked out there, and like we should compare the 2 videos. It was like lightning fast. Thank God one of your baseball people actually recorded it. So I have it.
Yeah.
But my video is just me zooming in on you, and you throw the ball, and I was like, oh shit. And then that's the catcher, and then it's just over. Like I didn't get it. And it was really fast, but that's so interesting. But that's how all that shit is. I mean, it was like that with the same thing with Rob and I going and singing the song, right? So we go out there, and I'm kind of looking around, and I'm like, oh, Gary's already down here. You're like hanging out with some peeps, and there's like a couple of people wanting to get pictures, and then she goes, okay, so they're going to throw to you like after half the inning or blah, 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 whatever the 7th inning stretch is, they're going to do that, and I'm standing there, and then I just hear my name, like I just hear Jarrett and Rob from Bowling for Soup. And I would just, oh shit. I just start singing Phineas and Ferb,
Yeah.
And it's way more fluid when you watch it on video. Like to me, it was almost the opposite. I was just like, Jesus Christ, what is happening here? And all of a sudden it just was happening. So it's, those things there is a lot of hurry up and wait in events like that, man. And then there's so much buildup to it. Like I remember like, singing that I've sang the national anthem like 3 times at various events, one time there at that place. But, so I don't really get nervous, like an ordinary person gets nervous. Like
right.
I don't really feel like people watching me has zero effect on me, and like that kind of thing, especially if it's like in performance mode. Like I get embarrassed if again, I was embarrassed when I fell down on vacation. That's embarrassing to me. But like I'm not at all worried about people watching me do anything, that especially if I'm performing whatever. But the national anthem is a fucking hard song, and all everybody talks about is how hard it is, and then you also never know how the acoustics are going to be, and like what you're actually going to hear and what you're going to hear back and all that. And but it is so wild how much of a buildup you're thinking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and all of a sudden it's just over.
Right.
And you're just like, okay, well, kind of a letdown, actually. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know, that just happened too fast. Hey, we are running late. We got to take a break. You're listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. We will be right back after this. Y'all listen up. And coming up later in the show, Jarrett Adlof is going to be here from Offended by Everything and Van Full of Nuns. Y'all hang out, listen to this. Be right back. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. And Gary, I just sent you the link to the coffee machine that Casey has. And I think, and that's the one that Derek has. My buddy Derek has too. And he's like known for his coffee stuff. So anyway, that's a good one. But I also sent you the link to the one that we had. We had decided, Gary, if you remember, that we were going to get a badass coffee machine for the bus because Less Than Jake traveled with one.
Oh, I remember. We were all excited about this. We were excited when we found out that we were on tour with Les and Jake and that they had this awesome coffee machine in their bus. We're like, well, we get to drink good coffee now. So we were so excited when we were going to get one, and then it kind of shit the bed.
It shit. Well, and the thing is, because normally what we have is just like a shitty Keurig that like
it's totally fine.
It's fine. It just lives on the bus. Nobody really takes care of it. They don't get, and it's always a different bus. You don't really know what you're going to get. It's fine. But it's like, they were like, hey, we just put our own really nice coffee maker on, and it does make a difference, you know, because anyway, that's delicious. So anyway, we got that thing and we were so excited about it. And what I said to Gary was like, Gary's avoiding that particular one because it didn't work. And I'm like, I think it's a good idea to avoid it. But at the same time, it's one of those things like when a kid gets something for Christmas and you don't have time right then and you're like, hey, don't open this yet and I'll help you. We'll get it all charged up and get it working and all that, get it all put together. And then the kid, my child, anyway, and both of my boys have been like this. They won't wait. So then they open it up and then something gets thrown away or they fuck it up somehow. And then you're just like, well, now we can't actually do it. So I think maybe the right person didn't unpack the coffee machine.
Yeah, there's that's a possibility. You know, it's a pretty highly rated machine. But,
the reviews are pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good brand, and there's some good reviews on that thing.
Yeah,
but man, I just went through kind of a similar situation. You know, it wasn't a Christmas present, but with this stupid freaking name tag that the kid has to wear at school, right? Mm-hmm. They got to wear these lanyard name tag things now, right?
Yep.
And so, you know, it's midway through the second semester. So we're 3/4 of the way through the year. And then, you know, we get some message that your kid didn't have his name tag today. Like, okay, you know, whatever. Then the next day we get the message. Your kid didn't have his name tag today. That's kind of weird. Why are we getting this mold? Okay. Third day in a row, your kid. Okay. So I asked Tyler, what's going on? We got 3 messages in a row. You don't have your name tag. What's happening? You just have it on you. He's like, well, man, they usually don't even check. But he's like, it broke. The part where the clip goes on broke and I've lost it. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And he's like, yeah, it's not even a new one. It's the one or I was like, I go, well, let's see if we can find your one from last year. And he's like, well, that was the one from last year. I'm like, well, where's your one from this year? He's like, I never got one from this year. And I'm like, okay, well, that kind of sucks, you know? So this is multifaceted story here, but I'm going to go to bat for him. I'm like, well, you're supposed to get one every year. I go, you're sure you didn't get a new name tag this year? He's like, yeah, I didn't get a name tag this year. Okay. So the next time I get the message that he doesn't have the name tag, I just respond. I go, hey, I get it that he doesn't have a name tag. He's supposed to have a name tag, but he's been wearing his name tag from last year and it finally broke. He never received one from this year. So can we just get him a new name tag? And the principal responds with an image of his signature for picking up a new one this year. And at this point, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know? God damn it. That's the worst. When you get the screenshot, like I like to do it to people, but I don't like being on the other end of it.
Yeah. So, dude, I go talk to T. I'm like, bro, what the hell? I like, you know that anytime that something's wrong, I have your back. But you were wrong, and you told me this, and I went to bat for you, and now I look like an idiot. And he's like, oh, I didn't get a new one. And I showed him the screenshot, and he's like, well, I mean, they gave me one this year, but it's my picture from last year. We didn't get new pictures. And I go, dude, I never once said anything about pictures.
Yeah.
I asked if you got a new name tag this year.
When would they have taken your picture? You just started the year.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a crap about pictures. I asked if you got a name tag. Like, anyways, that became a whole issue of conversations of like, the words that I use or the words that I'm talking about, don't
Yeah.
use them to mean something else.
Right.
All right. So all that background too, this past week, Anik found his name tag.
Oh.
And it was broken. Like the little clip had broken off. And so she showed me and I go, awesome. I'm going to fix the clip. And I set it down on the counter in this spot. Right.
Okay.
And so I leave the house and I'm going to fix this thing. And then I come back later and it's not there. And I look around for it and it's not there. And I go, hey, where did you put the thing? I set it right here. And she goes, oh, I gave it to Tyler. I was like, God dang it. You know, like, I'm like, this kid, he's just going to clip it back on the same lanyard and the thing's broken and he's going to lose it again.
Yeah.
So anyways, he comes home and I go, hey, where's your name tag? I'm going to fix that clip. I'm going to fix the spot where it's broken. He goes, oh, okay. And he hands it to me. And what has he done? That little spot that had a rip in it, he just ripped the whole thing off.
Oh my God.
I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to fix this. Carry it around in your pocket from here on out, you know?
Yeah, you got a couple of weeks now. You figure it out, brother. You know?
Exactly. That's where I am. I'm like, so the same thing. It's like, I said it here. I said I'm going to fix it, and other people find their solutions, and good luck.
Right. Yeah. And again, I got to tell you, like, I am so frustrated by people that can't find the charging cables to things because they leave them around, right? It's the same thing. So it's like brand new hover, what do you call drone thing, little cheap fucking drone, right? And brand new, just got it the other day and already can't find the charging thing for it. Well, those things aren't universal. You have to have like the one that came with it, right? And so it's like, I mean, it's throw it in the trash. You know, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it somewhere in the house. There's a thing. We are never using this thing ever again. But it's one of those things. Again, it was unpacked without me. And I had said, man, can we just do this tonight? I'm going to help you. We're going to get it. Oh, we're going to charge it up. Well, it's already charged. I know, but they say to hook it up to the charger when you first get it. And I know, but I just want to see if it works. Okay. All right, fine. Yeah. You know, whatever. But that's the only day it'll ever get flown. You know, that's the end of that deal because they're never going to find the charger to it.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so frustrating.
Yeah. Or the charger gets thrown away. That's the other thing is when other people unpack things in this particular home that we live in. Sometimes not everything gets taken out of the fucking box.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that packaging works is they do hide shit, you know, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it, but you know, I'm pretty experienced in going, you know what? Maybe I should have checked underneath this to make sure I got all of this out of there.
100%. There's the times where like, you know, the charger is in the box, but it's inside its separate box.
Yeah.
And so like the charger's here, but the cord's wrapped around something and you kind of have to pull out like a side of the box to get the cord out.
Yeah.
And there's another side of that box. And a lot of the times you just assume, well, there's nothing in that side of the box because the cord was on this side. But sometimes there is.
Sometimes there is. You know what it was in this particular hovercraft? The screwdriver that fits the little bitty fucking screw that I had to go look for one because I was told everything was unpacked.
Yeah.
And I go and find one. It took me a solid fucking, 20 minutes that I'll never get back, and my time is very valuable. And anyway, and then now I've just got this little screwdriver and no charging cable in a hovercraft that we can never use again.
I feel your pain wholeheartedly, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I actually just heard this theory last night, watching something. I don't remember what it was, but it was talking about some of the differences between how men and women think, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a generalization. Don't come at me,
Yeah, like, don't fucking come at him.
Yeah, but and where I'm coming at is going to get to how we're raising our kids, and it made me wonder. I'm probably making some mistakes. We're all making mistakes, but what I was saying is, a lot of guys, a lot of men are good at multiple things. We're good at figuring stuff out. We've got lots of bits of information about multiple different scenarios, right? And so part of it is our brains are just worked that way. We're interested in different things. And part of it is, I think our generation growing up, we were just figure it out. We were left to our own devices and go figure it out. And I think that I'm probably guilty of, for Tyler, doing too much for him. And I need to let him figure out a little too much. Now, it's frustrating on my side to do that because that's when the chargers get thrown away or this gets thrown away or whatnot.
Yep, you're right.
But some of that he needs to figure out.
Man, you're so right. And it's like that gets into, no exaggeration. By the, second grade, I could change a tube on a bicycle and replace the chain and fix my brakes and anything else I needed to do. I mean, did I put the tools back? Absolutely not. But I could fix a bike, and I don't even know that Everett would even really know what to do.
Yeah. Again, growing up in the freaking early 80s is a different time period.
Different time. Yeah.
But houses had locks on the outside of doors to lock kids in the room when they're misbehaving.
Yeah.
And that same thing. I remember being in like second grade and figuring out how to take the door mechanism apart and reverse it and be like, I can lock you out of my room,
Yeah.
And
you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. I don't remember my parents helping me unbox anything, and you didn't need a screwdriver to put batteries in back then. So like, you never, I mean, it was just never even a thing. And yeah, I mean, that's just it, right? It's like there's, so you didn't get to your point about women and men, but I'm wondering, was it that like women they think to go, hey, this kid needs to learn to do his own laundry?
No, I think I think the point is a lot of the times women will ask for help, and they'll they'll either ask for an explanation, they'll ask for help, they'll ask for something where at least with our generation we were kind of left to our own or told to figure it out, and so we'll either figure it out, break it, like we'll do something, right?
Yeah,
that was I guess the difference was. And I think part of it was that our brains are wired where we're interested in stuff. So sometimes we just have knowledge of things because previously we've sought it out. I'm not saying that women don't do that, but we may have a more surface, a more shallow understanding of a broader variety of things where they may go deeper on a shallower amount of things.
Yeah. And that's just it. Right. So they'll go down a rabbit hole on, whatever it is that, that girls are good at. And we sort of like, show me once and I got it. That's us, and that's, I'm the same way. I mean, I get bored anybody showing me how to do anything. And then I get frustrated when Everett gets frustrated with me because I get frustrated that he won't listen to me show him how to do something, because that's the other thing. And we've talked about this on this show, but one of the things that absolutely drives me bonkers is when he can't figure something out. And then he goes, hey, I need some help to do this. And then while I'm doing it, he's coaching me and telling me how to do it, or he is grabbing at it or whatever. And I will literally just put it down and go, if you want to fix it, you fix it. But if you want me to do it, then I'll do it. And maybe there's a happy medium there. Maybe it needs to be more like, hey, let me show you how to do this, I think that there you go. I mean, that's probably a big thing with this generation too, is like, we know how to do shit. So we're just like, let me just get that done so that, because in this fast paced world that we live in, I have 12 other things going on. I can do that really quick, give it back to you. And then you go and you're happy. And then I can get back to this other shit that I was doing.
I think that's a huge part of it. And I also think it may also be like a generational thing where, because we were left to our own and just had to figure it out, our generation is also more hands-on parenting, and so we feel like we're being more nurturing or more hands-on by doing it. So the fact of, I'm in a hurry, I can just get this done, and also I feel like I'm doing more than my parents did because I'm actually helping you. I think that kind of turns into, we're just doing everything for them, and they're walking around going, I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and but they feel loved while doing it. I mean, but yeah, I mean, you're so right. I mean, and it's the it's the start of like the generation of before me that was having kids, not like my parents. Like I'm saying, like, you know, my brother's age, you know, them having kids, like somebody 5-10 years older than me. Those are the kids that started to get to college and they didn't know how to do their laundry. They didn't know how to balance their checkbook. They didn't understand how, you know, credit cards worked, and they didn't, you know, none of that shit, you know, and we've probably sort of made it even a bit worse. I mean, I think one of the things, at least with us, is we sort of teach at least the survival shit, but boy, yeah, we do a lot of shit for our kids, man.
Yeah. I mean, and there's it's a trade-off, right? There's pros and cons. They're doing more advanced shit, you know, like in 8th grade, Tyler's taking junior level fucking physics class, you know, like I didn't even take that in high school. He's in 8th grade and he's taking an 11th grade physics class.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but at the same time, like, you know, he can barely freaking microwave a piece of toast, or, you know, like he just can't, he can do that. You don't microwave a piece of toast, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's just certain
what are you
things.
teaching this kid over there?
There's just certain things you're like, what the hell are you doing? You know, and it's like, well, he doesn't know how to do that because we haven't shown him.
Yeah. No,
but then he's advanced in other things.
Yeah, it's super interesting, isn't it? You know, that again, I just the other day I was just like, hey, can you go get me a AA battery for this clock? And he goes, yeah. And he brings me back 3 AA's. And I was just like, thank you. I mean, I guess I'll just put these other 2 in my pocket, you know? And it's just like, you know, I don't know. I mean, it was very nice of him to bring me extra ones or whatever, but it was just like, I mean, if I heard those instructions, I would go get 1 AA battery and bring it back up there, you know? But at least he got the right batteries, you know? Guys, you're listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. Coming up next, right after this, Jarrett Adlof is here. He's from the band Offended by Everything. Also, Van Full of Nuns, who have a brand new beer coming out called Pop Punk Light. Such a good name.
Man, we should go drink some of those.
I know. Well, I'm playing at the release party. I believe it's next week. And so I'm excited about that. I think it's next week. Yeah, it's next week. No, it's this week. It's this weekend when the show comes out. So if you're in the Dallas area, you want to come try some Pop Punk Light, meet me at the brewery. All the stuff's on my webpage. Or you can just search Van Full of Nuns. Anyway, y'all, we got to take a break. Listen to this. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. And as promised, a local hero. That's right. We used to call him that back in the day. Local heroes. Remember that shit? Wichita Falls, Gary?
Oh yeah, there's like a whole like series, local heroes show type thing. Yeah,
it's like a whole thing, and they would like we got asked to do it one time. Then we got too famous for it. We weren't local heroes anymore. We were local heroes that didn't live there.
Got too big for our britches.
Our guest today is Jarrett Adlof, and my only friend named Jarrett. How's it going?
Yeah,
Jarrett?
you know, you're my only friend named Jarrett as well, so that's something we have in common.
It is, right? But
Jarrett, I'm assuming you get the people calling you Jared all the time.
Yeah, Jared. Because the spelling of mine, I get Garrett sometimes, and then for whatever reason, when I go to fast food, they always hear Jerry with a Y.
Yeah,
I see people that know Jarrett and know his name is Jarrett that have known him for 25 plus years that still call him Jared.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah, dude, I just say Jack, you know, like so at fast food places, they're like coffee or whatever. And like my son Everett is like, Dad, why do you always say Jack? Why don't you say Everett? And I go, because Everett is just as hard to know what to put on the paper as Jarrett is. Like Jack is easy.
Yeah, I just say Jay most of the time these days because you can't really mess that up, you know?
Yeah, sometimes I will go with JR, but then they just call me Junior, and I'm like, Gary, you've got it easy, you know?
I don't know, man. The Gary thing, like to Jarrett's point there, it sounds weird. Like it sounds like so many other things. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a crowded place and I hear someone go, Gary, and I turn around and they're saying Barry, Jerry, Larry, Carrie, Mary, you know, like.
Yeah. And one of my good friends that I hang out with a lot is named Derek. And that from across the house, you can't tell who they're talking. So both of us just go, yeah, at the same time. It's well, Jarrett, you when you and I met, you were doing the Offended by Everything band, and I know I was managing Not Your Girlfriends at the time, and they were really big into you guys. And then you guys took a hiatus, and you're back. Let's start there musically. Just start a little bit with Offended by Everything. Are you guys like fully back? And just give us a little history.
Yeah, so I mean, to just a quick refresher is we started around 2016, and things were going really good, and we were playing really good shows, and we were touring all the time, and we got signed. And I think it was just like too much too fast, right? And so it hit us so fast, and we were like kind of overloaded. And no one left on like super bad grounds or anything. It was just like I think we just need to like call it. And so that being said, the break was nice because we took a few years off, which is funny because it didn't feel that long because of COVID. And
Right.
so like everything shut down. And then after everything came back up and stuff, our singer Zach, he had moved to Nashville during COVID, and he decided to come home. And I was like, hey, let's write a song, and we'll just see. And then we wrote a song, and it did pretty good. And then we started playing again, and now it's like, yeah, training wheels are back off, and we've been touring and playing, and we just released our first album since 2019 a couple of weeks ago. We're Safer Now, and it's doing really good, so we're stoked.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise for me, to be honest. Like, because you and I hang out, but we haven't hung out. We've both been really busy, and your wife has had some health stuff, and for whatever reason, we haven't seen each other much. And all of a sudden, just online, it's just like, oh, they're back, but they're like fucking back. Like you guys are like out doing shit. And in between that, though, on this break that you guys had, you started a record label. You started playing bass for Vanful and Nuns, which is not busy, and
Yeah.
I mean, you started releasing some solo stuff. I sang on one of your songs. So, where are you at right now and like trying to figure out exactly like where your priorities are going to be?
Yeah, no, it's tough because just like you just said, there was a lot going on, right? And I mean, you guys could both speak to this, and it's probably why we're here. We all have a lot going on, and so I have to prioritize. Like, family is obviously like priority, right? So everything that I do has to make sense, make sure it makes sense for my wife and kids. From a music perspective, though, yeah, in the interim of like, hey, OB's breaking up, for me, it was I can't not do music, right? Because this is what I've spent, over 20 years or whatever doing. And so I thought that I could give back. You mentioned local heroes. You were like y'all were talking about that. I thought I'd give back to the local scene, right? So that was my idea with the label. Wasn't necessarily to make it like huge. It was like, hey, I want to help bands that are trying to do what I wanted to do for so long and at least get them there. And I was able to do that with Palm Mute Records. But when I joined Vanful and Nuns, there was no time, right? Because we're so busy. We play all the time and all over, and we tour. And then OB coming back, it made that next impossible. So I had to let that go. And then I still I'll always write songs, right? So like for solo stuff, it'll always be there if it needs to be there. But it's actually been cool because since I joined Vanful and Nuns, they've actually wanted one of the reasons they wanted me to join was to help with originals. So aside from obviously we do mostly big cover shows, but they wanted to release some originals, and I've had maybe more success there in the past than maybe they had. And so yeah, we just released an EP as well with Vanful and Nuns. In which case I wrote the melody and lyrics to all of them, and then music to one of the songs as well, which is cool. So
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of songwriting. Just all of a sudden, is what you wanted to do in the first place. That works out really good. And then, not to mention too, you started booking. You remind me a lot of me, like in that, I'm the same way. I want to be involved in this whole thing. I can't get enough of it. So, okay, now I'm going to direct videos. I'm going to do this. So you started helping book clubs or whatever. I see you giving bands shit for not busting their ass and selling tickets. And because we know, right? Like, it's like, if you're going to take the gig, get out there and bust your ass.
yeah, it doesn't. So my thing is like, just try, right? So if you draw no one, but I saw that you attempted,
Yeah.
then cool. I know they're not slinging tickets like we used to back in the day where we're like going out to doors and handing out flyers and stuff. It's not like that anymore. So minimally make a post, right? Or just something. So then I have an excuse whenever I'm like, hey, oh, by the way, this band is selling tickets. Like, at least you like, I will never, by the way, do like a pay to play thing. So like, I'll never make someone pay to play a show. That's not how I roll. And if you come on a show and that one band drew 100 and you drew 0, if you put in an effort, that's what I mean, at least you deserve to be here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I crack down kind of hard because I'm like, that's not like, I want you guys to be successful. I book bands that I like. So I'm booking you because I want you to do well. And so if I come down, it's almost like, hey, dad's getting mad at me, but like, hey, like,
No,
I just
that
want y'all to be, I want it to work. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about being a dad. So we, talked about how busy you are, just again, and now busy. But also, I mean, I guess maybe we kind of hit here too, though. You're also like you have a full-time gig, and it's like you're kind of high up in the company that you're in, and so are you just able to balance that with, with the travel and all of the other things, as far as like, okay, guys, I got to be in a hotel room today for 3 hours and do some work, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the one thing that's good about like the company that I work for is I've worked there for so long that I've just accumulated a lot of PTO, so it makes for like travel and tour doable. Whereas if someone had just started, maybe that wouldn't be something that's attainable. Or even when like, I wasn't touring as much when I first started because I didn't have all that built up. So now I don't want to say it's unlimited. That's not what I mean, but it's enough to make it work,
Right.
But yeah, no, so that's obviously I still do that, and it's nice income. Not to mention, like, I mean, I figured out how to make my hours work to where I typically do like really really early, and I get out decently early.
Mhm.
And it is what it is. Like, sleep's tough, but you guys are dads, so like being a dad, sleep's tough anyway.
How's,
So
how's that office politics work whenever you're going and doing cool stuff? Are people envious and think it's cool, or are they like, hey, how come he's getting all the time off?
no, I mean, it depends, right? So if someone's new, maybe, but like it's part of like, you built up tenure. It kind of is what it is. But for the most part, it's actually kind of nice because when we tour, we have to put a ton of money into marketing and stuff to make sure people get there. But when I'm playing locally, it's like a lot of times it's my work people coming, and I don't like, it is what it is. Like, I'll promote to anyone.
Yeah.
So and it's like with my job, it's like new people all the time coming through. So it's like a new group of people for the first time. Like every time feels like the first time, and that's always nice. So
That's cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we were, doing the really, really having to bust our ass to get, 20, 30 people at the show, Eric got a job at a restaurant, and it was the greatest fucking thing that ever happened to our band, because it was all of us. The turnover was fairly high, but also, it was they all partied together all the time. And so we for sure had 30, 40 people at our show every time, no matter what. And then anybody else that we got to come, and that really helped. So yeah, the work thing, is definitely one of those things, especially when you're playing locally, that helps quite a bit. Hey, so all right, let's talk about the family, your lovely wife Becky, and then tell us about your kids.
yeah, so we've got two. Chase is 14 and he's humongous. So he's I mean, I'm me, I'm 6 foot and like super skinny. He's the same height and he is like jacked. So he's in football, and like he doesn't play football because he loves football. He plays football because he gets to lift. So all he cares about is like getting big. And so like it's super funny because if I ever have to like come down on him, I'm like, hey, don't talk to your mom that way. And he's like, what? And I'm like, nothing, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think we're good.
Hey, you know what? She can handle this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you just go talk to your mom. She'll take care of it. So it's really funny, but he's a good kid. And then that's my wife had him prior to us getting married, but I've been there since he was 5, right? And he's almost 15. So and then we got Riley, he's 8. And he's really smart, really funny. He's like really sweet. So he's like the teddy bear, you know what I mean? Like he's emotional, but like he's got like traits that I don't have, which is nice. And he takes that from his mom. So he's a lot more like Becky than maybe me, which is okay. He looks like me, but he acts more like her, which is cool. So
it is funny how those things balance sometimes, right? Like, like a kid will look like one of you, and then, whereas like Gary's situation is they have a boy that is basically an identical copy of Gary, and then a girl that's identical copy of Anik. And mine are a little bit mixed, that
It's crazy. I forgot that your kids are almost the same age as mine, and my son Tyler, he's 14 too, and same thing. Like he's over 6 foot tall, just massive, and but he's sweet. He's super super sweet. And my daughter is really really sweet to me. She's 7, so almost the same age as you're younger, but she's so sweet to me. But she's like the mean girl to everyone else. So yesterday we were walking in the house, and I was coming home from picking up my son. My daughter's already home. And I get to the door and she walks up to the door because she's going outside to play with the other kids. And she goes, "Hey, Daddy," and comes over and gives me a hug and a kiss. And she looks at Tyler and goes, "Hey, loser." I'm like, hey, be nice to your brother.
And he just takes it, right? Like,
Yeah.
because he's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that video of your daughter, Gary, when Mia was trying to get in the front door and her grandpa kept fucking up the code or whatever because he thought he knew how he was doing it or whatever. Just the way that she's just like, "Would you get off?" And she's like slapping his hand.
She does not take shit from anyone, but she is so sweet to me. It's like it's you can watch her talk to Anik and then talk to me, and I have to be like, "You can't talk to your mom like that." "Okay,
Yeah.
Daddy."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, God damn it. Wait till she's a teenager.
Oh my God.
So 2 boys in the house, and you guys are, y'all are, Jarrett, you guys have the teenager thing. What grade is he in? Your teenager?
So he's in 8th. He'll be in high school next year.
Wow. Is he going to play high school football, or has he decided?
I think so, but again, I think it's not necessarily like love for sports. It's love for lifting. He plays offensive line. You know what I mean? Like and it's so funny because if like I go to the games, I'm like, "Yeah, that's my kid." They're like, "No, it is." There's just no way.
Yeah. It's crazy how big kids can get now. Like apparently it's the milk. I don't know. It's I don't know what it is. What is it, Gary? You grew one.
I don't know. He just literally, he never ate junk, like he ate a ton of fruit and steaks, and like we'll go get cheeseburgers and he takes the bun off and he'll order lettuce burger. Like he just eats pretty good.
Yeah. Damn it. God damn it. These kids, do either of your kids, Jarrett, have any sort of musical interest at all?
So definitely not Chase, not the older one. Well, what's funny too is how kids like music style changes so fast as they're growing up, because like all of his friends listen to rap, you know what I mean? So it was like rap, and I don't know, I'll listen to whatever. But he's really big into like Texas country now, so he probably thinks this is really cool that we're having this interview. You know what I mean? Because like what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's like out of nowhere, he's like talking about Texas, which I love Texas country, so I think it's like rad.
Did he get into that on his own, or is that like a new group of friends or something?
I think he got into it on his own, and now he's wearing like boots and like just all this stuff that's like, because it was like all Nike, you know what I mean? And so
is there a girl that he's into that?
So he definitely has a girlfriend, but I don't think so. Maybe she likes it. I don't know. I don't think that's where it came from, but like it's cool because he's got developed this interest. Like I don't know that I had an interest to go to rap shows, but I would love to take him to Texas country shows. He's asking all the time. I'm like, cool, let's go, But as far as like playing it, no, like that's not something he's really thought about. But the other one, my young one, I have a feeling he will, because he's always like singing in a microphone and like dabbling on a keyboard. I don't like to force things on my kids. So like if it's ever a point where they want to do something, or I'm gonna dive in, but like until they like, "Hey, can I get lessons, or will you teach me," or whatever, I'm not gonna do that. Because like I loved baseball growing up, but like my dad's a great dad, but he did do that a little bit with baseball, you know what I mean? And so it was like at one point I was like, I kind of just want to play guitar, you know what I mean? And so there was like a riff a little bit where it was like, "Hey, dude, you should have played baseball. You could have been great." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I still like baseball, but I like guitar more."
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for that. We made our daughter take piano lessons, and she has zero interest in anything musically. And then Jack, he wasn't ready for piano, and then kind of never got ready for piano. But Everett's been taking piano forever, and he takes drum lessons, and he doesn't really like to practice, and we don't really force it. But he's in percussion in school, and we're sort of just going to see if that catches on. And that's what Gary's son. You want to let us know what's going on over there, Gary?
Yeah, sure. I'm kind of with you on that, Jarrett. Like, I don't want to push anything, but you have to do something. That's kind of my rule. I don't care what you do, but you have to do something. You can't just sit around and do nothing. But yeah, my son is way into baseball. He's a big baseball guy, but also he's really got into percussion, like marching band and the school band. And so he's going into his freshman year next year, had his percussion drumline tryouts, and he's the only freshman that made drumline next year for high school. So that's pretty awesome.
I remember like years ago watching, I think he was up behind you, like hitting your drums while you were playing. Like I saw that at a few shows. I remember, I thought that was cool. That would have been like we just played at Legacy Hall, band full of nuns. And there was like 700 people there. It was really awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great show. But my kid, cause it's all ages there. So we like had to tone it down a little bit because we're pretty inappropriate. Like we take a lot from you guys. But you know, it was like PG-13.
Family shows too. Yeah.
Yeah, but my kid got to go, Riley, the youngest one, and I brought him up on stage and he like sat there like Indian style, like you probably shouldn't say that, but legs crossed.
We live in Texas. I mean, I get it.
I don't know, but he sat there right next to the right next to like our like scrims and just kind of stayed put. And he like loved it. And it was so funny because we planned on going out afterwards, and he was like at my side. Normally he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I get it. You got to do things. But he was like, no, Dad, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want you to take me here. So I was like, guys, is it cool if I just leave? Because usually I like stay after, and I like dipped because he like wanted dad time.
Yeah.
And it was really neat. I think he's going to get the itch for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. But again, I'm kind of waiting for him to like get there himself, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's so cool though when they do experience it themselves, you know, because I look at me and you look at you guys or whatever. It's like not like our parents pushed us in any direction as far as music is concerned. You know, my dad was pushing me more towards football, and I played through junior high. And then I made drumline and did the whole marching band thing through high school. And man, it's the best times of my life. I'm so happy when other kids do it. You know, it's like my kid now is in 6th grade, and he's going in junior high. He's going to do band and theater. And I'm like, it's the two things that made me the happiest in the world, you know? and so I'm just so excited for him, you know, and I love that, you know, especially the theater thing. I love for him just because it just teaches you so much. You know, whereas like, you know, we talk about how, you know, piano teaches you math and all this stuff. Well, theater teaches you breathing. And like, I accidentally learned how to sing right by being in theater. Like, I didn't take voice lessons or anything, but like I have breath control because I learned to breathe correctly on stage, you know? And it's just cool how everything sort of, all of the creative stuff sort of works together like that.
Yeah, I took theater throughout high school, and then I even went to college for theater. And the only reason I dropped out wasn't because of that. I dropped out of college because I went on tour.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, same thing. It was, like for me, that was more beneficial than any music background I'd had for what we do.
Yeah.
Like from talking to the crowd, not being nervous, you know, like performing, moving around, whatever that looks like. I'm sure that was because of theater. And so I know that a lot of people, like, it has a bad rap with a lot of people, but you can learn so much from being inside of there. So I had a great time with it. I'd do it again. You know what I mean? I still go to plays all the time.
Oh yeah. Us too. I mean, that's my happy place. Honestly, it's just in front of a musical or a play or whatever. It's just like I'm so not like people would think I am in real life. Like I like piano bars. And like that's like the unmusician thing to like or whatever. I think it's the fucking greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I love it so much, and I love plays, and I don't really like to go see loud music anymore.
I'm going to a concert tonight, and it's so funny because I normally don't go unless I'm either playing or throwing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I'm going to one tonight. So yeah.
Or you know somebody, right? Like you
Yeah.
go see friends play or whatever, you know, and that's just it. Same thing.
One of the baseball parents the other day asked me about like going to shows. I'm like, man, this is a really tough conversation to actually explain because like there may be shows I want to go see, but I'm probably out of town, or you know, there's you go so much that I don't know if I want to go to this one. So it's basically if friends are in town.
Yeah, and even then, like I remember, was it last summer or the summer before? Sum 41, Simple Plan, and Offspring came through, right? And I was just like, I mean, I could go, but they're playing outside, and I know I could stand side stage, but it's still gonna be hot, you know. And I'm like, and I know like I could go in the dressing room and whatever, but like, even then, like I just talk myself out of anything inconvenient. You know, I'll see him next. And now, you know what? Now I get to see Simple Plan 40 fucking times this year. So it'll be fine. You know, but yeah, man. So let's talk about Offended by Everything. Cause I mean, it seems like that's, you know, you're refocusing on that. Did you say new music? It just came out, right?
Yeah, we just released a new album. We're Safe for Now, and there's 5 new songs. It's an EP. And I mean, the good thing about EPs is that, and we do them intentionally, is there's not a lot of filler. So I feel like all the songs, we went through like heated debates back and forth of like, hey, what song should be the single? What song should be the single? You know, and everyone had their vote, and there's only one that got 2 votes. And so I was like, that's gonna be it, because you know it could have been anyone, and it's cool, man. Like we have like there's like traditional pop punk, and then we've got there's a couple of those, and we got a ballad, and we've also got like a pretty fucking heavy one too. And so like we've always been a little more like the A Day to Remember Silverstein style of pop punk, a little heavier, but still like pop, you know. And so it's not that different. It's just like the mix is a lot different than our last few. So but yeah, it's going good, and I'm excited. Through the writing process, you're always nervous, you know what I mean? Like, hey, is this what we want to do? Is this right? And then once we dropped the first single, I was like, okay, cool. I feel so much better. Yeah.
What did the break do for your relationships, like as a band? Because I just, speaking from Bowling for Soup, you know, we've taken a break twice in our career, and both times it was never that we were breaking up, but you know, just some whatever it was. One time it was just that we were exhausted. The next time it was, you know, personal. Everybody's heard me talk about it. Personal shit starts cooking in. You know, we had to take a break from it. Coming back from that, not only were we shot out of a cannon, but our relationships are just, I never thought that our relationships could get any stronger. At each time they would just get stronger. We were closer, you know, I mean, and did you feel that maybe that happened with you guys too?
Yeah, so the only 2 that have been in the band since its inception are me and the singer Zach. And when we first started, he was kind of young, you know, like, so I think he was 18, 19. And I was already way older. But this isn't unfair of me to say this, because he's being very vocal about it now.
Sure.
Everyone handles their alcohol differently. And like I'm a big drinker at shows, but it doesn't affect me in the way that it would affect someone else. And it did. It massively affected him. And even when we came back, like he was still dabbling, but like at one point he just stopped altogether. And I think he's nearly a year sober. And that's helped so much, like with the runs and the tours, and everything's gone smooth, because he's always been a great singer. He's an incredible performer, and he wasn't hard to deal with. He was just that like things get handled differently. And so like I'm really proud of him, because he needed to stop, and he knew that he needed to. So he went and got help, and then he stopped. And it's really, our band is like, it's really like right now I feel as good about it as I ever did, even in our like prime, if you would, because like I feel like the songs are good. I'm proud of him. And the other 2, like we had to get one new member in this like comeback, because one of our old guys, which we loved, had a neck injury and he can't play live anymore.
No.
Yeah, and so it's funny, because we didn't even replace him. And like what actually happened was, we've always just, for the second guitar player in our band, we've always just kind of like filled someone in and never said anything about it. And we had found someone who's really, really good. His name is Jaret, not to confuse all this. He's better than me at guitar, and I've always written all the songs, so that's great. You know what I mean? So like I'm like, hey, if you're better than me, that's I'll give him all the hard parts, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You get to fucking jump around and shit.
Yeah, 100%. But the bass player we just didn't replace, because it like that one hurt. Like, because he didn't want to leave, and we didn't want him to leave, and he's a good dude. But it was like, hey, I can either do this and potentially break my neck or not. And so we track bass now. And so a lot of people, like I know people have different feelings about it, but like there's still 4 of us up there.
Yep.
And I mean the show's good, it sounds good, we make it good. Like unless you are like, oh, I'm a musician, I'm a bass player, where's the bassist? Like most people are like don't even notice anything. So
you know, I think when you have reasons like that, you know, I think Simple Plan is a great example. You know, I think them playing to track without David in the band was just the right move. You know, again, you know, it's somebody else in the pictures, and it's, you know, this, you know, we're not replacing Chris. We're not, you know, I think, you know, I think that's a fine decision for you guys to make. And I think that just goes to show the love again, that you're like, man, again, I just people don't understand what adding another personality to a band is like. It's a whole thing. I mean, just even adding a crew guy sometimes where it's like, what have I done? Like we've got this fucking guy on the road with us now for 6 weeks, but I'm not pointing fingers, crew guys that listen to this show. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I see it from the other side too, because like I guess I've been in Van Nuns now for just over 2 years, which is crazy. That 2 years went fast.
It really did.
I know I was eating with you one time in some bar in Prosper, and I was like, hey, they might want me to join. You're like, yeah, you should do that.
I know. Because you get all of your, all of the it's all of the badass crowds and all the fun and shit. And it's just at the time, there was no originals, so there was no work involved in it as far as like that kind of shit. I'm just like, you just get to go have fun, and they're just so Van Full of Nuns are just so good at what they do. They make every show an event. You feel like even if you've seen them 12 times, if you don't go see you guys the 13th time, you feel like you missed something.
Yeah, I've learned. I mean, so I'm sure there were reasons that they wanted me to be in the band because I have a history and I know people and like I can write songs and stuff. But I've learned more from them certainly than they've learned from me. Just based like marketing and strategy and being prepared and like on time and just all kinds of things. And then I brought like live show experience and like that kind of pieces. So it's worked. But to your point, it's still like, I mean, even now there's still things they're used to doing a certain way, and I certainly throw things in. I'm like, hey, I don't really think this makes the most sense. And so we have to have the conversations and stuff, and but it's been really good. And then the other thing that's cool is because that band like has it all figured out, and they've let Offended by Everything go on a lot of the runs. And so we've got to go to a lot of cities that maybe if we did, like we get to go to a city and play when we play Canes, there's 12 to 1,500 people there in Tulsa. Yeah. But if we play it like, I don't know, we just played in Springfield this weekend, and Springfield was amazing, and there was 300 people there. But if OBE went there on her own, we might have 50 people between building a bill. So like we've gotten like it's been super beneficial, and like our show is really good, so that helps the overall show. But then Van Full of Nuns has the marketing figured out, and so I have to double dip. But other than that, like that's awesome. So
they definitely got it figured out. And for those of you who don't know, so Van Full of Nuns they do these pop punk nights, and they're a pop punk cover band, emo cover band, but they also have a festival called Pop Punk's Not Dead that happens down in Buda, Texas, just outside of Austin. And Bowling for Soup did the first two, and then my band and myself, Jaret Reddick, will be doing both nights this coming year. I'm excited about it with Mest and Don't Panic. Of course, Van Full of Nuns. Are you guys on it? Offended by Everything? You guys?
Yeah, we're playing too. Yep.
What a weekend that's gonna be. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and
check that out.
It's what's cool is I think you're playing both nights. And so that's awesome. And then there's the only other bands playing both nights is Van Full of Nuns. However, the first night we play is live band karaoke, which I know you're a fan of. So we're playing the songs, and we're about to start sign-ups for people to like sign up to sing with us. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. Well, dude, I know you're at work and you got a lot going on. I appreciate you taking the time. Offended by Everything, new music out, and then you're saying Van Full of Nuns. And I do remember the first original that came out was really, really good. And so where are you guys at now in the releasing material? New EP coming, right?
So the EP just came out. It's called Watch It Burn. Awesome. It's only 3 songs, so it's a quick one. And yeah, it's awesome. Like it's really good. So the guy that produced when you sang with me on the cover of The Greatest Showman, he produced that song. Scott Buchanan. He produced this album for Van Full of Nuns. Okay. And so we wrote and recorded it at my place, my studio at home, and then we sent it to Scott, and he sent it back, and it's obviously really good. And yeah, it's awesome, man. Like it was fun for me to write. Like I wrote songs more like I would have written for my original stuff versus I would have written for OB, right? And then Mike, the singer of Van Full of Nuns, is a better guitar player than I'll ever be. And so he has a lot of like shreddy stuff, and it's cool. But it's cool, and that just came out too. So you can find that everywhere. And yeah, and then the other thing too, like if I didn't say it, they beat me up. Is we get our own beer at the.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we have on the 17th of of May. You're playing acoustically as well at that.
I am.
We have we're playing Pop Punk Night / Brewstock, and they are creating our own beer, and so we're big light beer, Miller Lite kind of people, and so we made a beer as close to that as we can, and then we have our own beer. It's called Pop Punk Light.
I love it, man. That's great. Yeah, we've done that a couple of times too. That's exactly what we say. We say just make it as close to Miller Lite as you possibly can, and we're fine with it. But where is that happening again? It's May 17th.
Yeah, May 17th at Four Corners Brewery in Dallas. And it's awesome. We've got Moonstone and Waiting for April. They're two of the bigger locals going right now. They're playing with us. And then just a ton of like local artists are playing acoustically.
Yeah.
Like OB is doing an acoustic set for that one. We've got the guy Bishop. He was in Empires in Emerald City. He's coming. So just all kinds of stuff. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be there playing. I'll be just fresh back from Hello Rockville, and then but I'm glad you guys asked me to be a part of it. That's gonna be great. Pop Punk's Not Dead festival happening in early June. That is the 6th and 7th. Tickets on sale still. It's down in beautiful hill country down there in Buda, Texas. So y'all check that out. Van full of nuns, offended by everything. Jarrett Adlof with 2 R's and 2 T's. That's where people can find you, right? On social media. Where do you want to send people?
Yeah, just you can find me at Jarrett Adlof on everything. So 2 R's, 2 T's, ADLOF.
Good dude. Then, one of my favorite people. And I'm sorry, what were you gonna say? Something else?
No, it's all good. I don't remember anymore anyway.
True Rockstar Dad, and we just love you guys. And man, it's fun. It's fun when we go places because we got the tattooed wives, you know, and like we're all just like, hey, we got tattooed wives. Look at us go.
Yeah, look at our wives.
Look at our wives. And man, but dude, thank you so much for being here. Good luck on everything. I will see you in a couple of weeks, if not before. And man, everybody else, we will see y'all next time. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know, some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.